You know, I lost a coin the other day, and I'm actually kind of sad about it. It was a 1984 John F. Kennedy half dollar.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I gotta hold on to this. But then I accidentally ended up losing it. I have no idea what happened. I like dropped it somewhere and I couldn't find it again. It was weird. I just thought it was kind of interesting and fucked up at the same time because 1984, a lot of bad shit was happening in 1984. And it was a John
I
F.
get
Kennedy
it. I
1984
get it.
half dollar and he got assassinated. So I'm like, oh shit, that symbolizes all the bad shit that was going on. And I lost the coin, unfortunately.
It may have been prophetic for you to lose it, but I now I get where you're going. That's great.
Yeah, I was
Holy
like, oh
shit, dude.
fuck. Because when I saw that coin, I was like, this can't be a coincidence.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
I had to find you.
I
I had to
know.
find you a candy freaking half dollar from 1984. Holy shit, that's fucking hilarious. Did you ever watch the movie Red Dawn, the original one
Oh
from the
yeah, I
80s?
saw the original way back.
Powers Booth character, when he was a colonel, he was the Air Force pilot who got shot down
Right.
because they got caught behind enemy lines.
Oh no.
And he's talking about the stories of well, what's going on, because the kids don't know shit. They've been living in the fucking mountains for like 6 months, right? Explaining to them how like the nukes were tactical and that they took out certain places in Nebraska and some bullshit, some nuclear silos. But the thing is that they did it strategically to knock out retaliation and in government, basically infrastructure stuff, for superpower and things like that to help support the invasion. Family somewhere enemy lines in Texas, and he's telling sorry stories about like how they're piling up the dead. You can see bonfires from recon photos and all that stuff of how many people are dead that they're lighting up the sky,
Fuck.
that they're burning them, and then he's talking about how people are living off of sawdust bread. You know what sawdust bread is?
Oh god, no.
Yeah, sawdust bread is where you actually take wood shavings and you try to mix them and bake them into something else that you can eat. You grow up in a country where you have barely a third grade education.
Oh
So what
god.
does a third grade? So what does a third grader know? Barely how to write their, and read and write. Okay, barely,
Is that what
barely a concept or barely a concept of like how to reason and to think for
is there a
themselves.
direct
And
correlation between third world and third grade?
exactly.
Oh god.
So now you're having a better understanding of like where these people and their mentality is. They're uneducated. That's the issue. If we started educating the world, and I'm not talking about just educating them in the way we need them to believe or way we need them to think. If you just started educating people
Properly.
properly so they can start thinking for themselves
Yeah.
properly and start being able to reason properly and being able to focus on bettering the planet, people need to be believing. Because if you notice that all the leaders are educated, because they are smarter than everybody else.
Yeah, I'm
They
smarter
just
than everybody else.
they just charismatically change people
Like, you
and
have to
then
set an
indoctrinate people.
example. Like, you have to set a quality example for people. It just doesn't make sense how people could be this stupid for such a long time. It's a terrible shame that
But
they don't
dude,
have they don't
do you
have
want to go? Did you want to be in school when you were a kid?
fuck no,
Did
I
you want to deal with
hated
all the
school
exactly? And
because it was miserable. I was around all these fucking idiots that bullied and harassed me that I didn't fucking like, and I was victimized because I was the
exactly.
red-haired kid. School is stupid because people are fucking uneducated and stupid. And there's this petty, oh, I need to assert dominance mentality when you should just mind your own
Yep.
fucking business. There isn't a time that I didn't think of killing majority of the actual people that I was forced to be around against my will, and maybe this would explain how the left, the communists, are exploiting people and why there are so many school shootings because people are tired of assholes and they don't know any other way to deal with the problem other than directly because they want to be left the fuck alone. So I think what they have been doing actively for a long time is exploiting that volatile environment that has put people, with other people that they don't like against their will, and the left is obviously communist and they're exploiting that in order to infringe upon our rights. All of them, but mostly free speech and the right to bear arms. Those are the ones they're going after the most now.
Yeah, because if you take away the guns, you take away the power to negotiate, to do anything, to defend yourself. That's the one reason why they want our guns.
Yeah, it's like I've told people, I've told a large number of people I've come across, I was like, you do realize that the reason why we have the Second Amendment is in case they try to take away all the other ones. But I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. The level of ignorance and indoctrination we are seeing today, it defies logic, frankly. I don't think I've ever seen it this bad. I mean, it was bad when I was growing up, and I saw it everywhere. It was in public schools, it was in private schools. The only places you didn't have to worry about that shit were typically places not a lot of people could afford to send their kids to get an education, and those would be academies starting from a young age. And by academies, I'm talking about like basically quality education that teaches people properly. You know, they get proper nutrition while they're there. You don't have to worry about them being indoctrinated by fucking communists or other morons. It's like it's kind of like academies are the premium you pay to be in debt for a little while so that you don't have to worry about your next of kin getting a proper education because they are getting a proper education.
I hear you, but when you leave people in the power to have control over the education of what your children learn and how they learn, that's indoctrination. So
yeah, and that's exactly the problem that exists in the universities and public schools.
No, universities are setting standards. Public schools, yes.
So it's public schools then mainly, I see.
Oh God, yeah. Look, taxes pay for it. It's mandatory that you go.
Oh God.
Or you have to achieve some kind of education. You know, that's why homeschooling, and you have to pass some kind of standardization, which is a test. You have to pass like a general education degree.
Oh.
That's what you pretty much are getting from when you get a high school degree or a high school diploma.
So how would you propose that problem get fixed?
How that gets fixed is that you have to have some kind of government control, this is sad, but the truth, and you have it standard across the board. This is kindergarten. This is what everybody must learn in kindergarten.
Yeah.
This is what everybody must learn in first grade. This is what everybody must learn in second grade. There is no child left behind. Fuck all that bullshit. If you're left behind, that means you repeat the fucking fifth grade again. The problem is that people are like, well, not everybody tests the same, and not everybody has the white privilege, and not everybody has all the same opportunities. And look, that's not...
Well, apparently everybody has...
Here's the problem. We have standards. And if you can't meet the fucking standards, then we don't need you in the United States.
Well, how come nobody's talking about black privilege? I mean, they say white privilege all the time. What about black privilege? It's like they get to be ignorant for generations, be like, yo, I want my reparations. It's like, okay, be ignorant and blame everybody else, held responsible for problems you
show
didn't.
me who the fuck has been a slave today.
Exactly.
And I'll give you your reparations.
Exactly.
Right? Don't bring up reparations. Reparations are just fucking handouts. They still want their 40 acres and a mule. The problem is that they were promised that, and they never got it. It was taken back by the federal government. And I mean, I understand that because they couldn't afford that shit after the fucking Civil War. But in turn, they were granted freedom, and they were granted the possibility to participate in the American dream. The issue at hand is that, racism held them down. Of course racism held them down. There is prejudice.
Feminist or like I know what it's called. It's like all this like indoctrinated communist bullshit that's like anti-man, anti-woman. Like this bullshit needs to stop. I mean, what's next? Are these oppressors going to further violate women and eventually indoctrinate them into paying for tuition with their bodies, and then they call it hang on, dude, stop. I wasn't done yet. You're interrupting. You're fucking interrupting.
Go for it.
Are they going to keep dehumanizing women and indoctrinating them to the point basically they're paying for their education with their bodies and they call it prostitution? I'm like, We
No, that's fucking hilarious. Dude, have you watched the Barbie movie? Have you watched the Barbie movie?
well,
You
dude,
just fuck. Dude, you just nailed the shit on the head from the Barbie movie. Have you watched the Barbie movie, dude?
no.
Hilarious, dude, because that's pretty much where we're at.
Oh my God, I said something prophetic, didn't I? That's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It's
funny.
hilarious.
Uh,
Because Barbie was like everything that was wrong in the world today. That's how the movie was. It was actually well done. It's not what you think it is. It's like, holy shit, the movie is like super woke. But it's awakening of like what's actually happening in society. It is crazy.
no trial, nothing. Just like if they've proven to be a narcissist and a manipulative asshole, we need to shoot them. We need to shoot
We just
them.
need to okay,
We need
okay,
just
hold,
need
hold.
to kill
We
them
just need to we need to publicly shame them.
and then
That's
shoot
what fucking
them.
McCarthy. No, that's what
No, no,
McCarthyism is. You
publicly
fuck.
shame and then
It's public.
execute.
No, that's what McCarthyism was. Publicly shaming you out of being a communist.
But I'm
Shame
saying,
for being a communist.
but
Shame
what
for
I'm
having these thoughts. Shame on you.
but narcissists don't deserve to live, is what I'm saying. We need to execute them
Well,
immediately.
if you publicly if you publicly denounce them, and everybody knows that they're narcissists, they'll kill themselves because they won't have any other. Because nobody will talk to them.
That's a
Nobody
brilliant
will associate
idea.
with them. No shit. That's what I said. Publicly shaming them. And I'm sorry to to use an analogy to where people will end up killing themselves, but in turn, they've asked for it.
They have. That's true.
hmm they create the hell that they live in. And if you reap that kind of freaking mentality, then you're going to sow that mentality. Therefore, you're going to have to live with the mentality that you decided to choose. If you're going to be a
An asshole.
communist, no, if you're going to be a communist, you need to be proud of being a communist. You don't need to be like, oh, blah, 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 I believe in this. Blah, blah. No, 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 no. You're a communist. If you're going to be a patriot, but don't shame me for being a patriot. Don't shame me for loving America.
Uh-huh.
Don't shame me for being white.
Exactly.
There, there you find, now you're understanding where I'm going at is that, look, we don't do that to you.
Why the
We just
fuck
need to
you do
start
it to
fighting back.
us? Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
We just need to start fighting it back is what we need to start doing.